Hi, I'm Rob Moore and this is the Disruptive Entrepreneur Channel. So you are going to love this. I cannot believe we've made this happen. But in this interview, we are talking to the bodyguard for 10 years of the most famous pop star that's ever lived, Michael Jackson. So if you want more content like this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell right now. Tell us something about Michael that he's very misunderstood about, or maybe no one really knows about him, if you don't mind.
Sure. He was into women. I mean, he loved women. I mean, that's the thing, guys. I mean, I'm sorry. He fooled you. You fell into his trap. That's what he wanted. Unfortunately, and it's backfired because he's not here to speak for himself. And we didn't want to talk about it until last year because that awful documentary came out. And then I decided it's time to speak out. I know he's into women because I used to sneak them into his room and help protect his image. And yeah, he had girlfriends right up to the very end. He didn't want that to be public. Only reason being, Rob, to keep the mystique. And from 5 years old, the first thing you were taught by a record label back then is you're not allowed to have a girlfriend because it will upset your fan base. And he listened to them.
Wow.
And yeah, that was the reason. He like, and when he would break up from a girl, I remember he was sat next to me in the back of a car, and he would like see a girl outside of his house. Like, wow, gee, I'd love to have her in my room, you know. But yeah, he was also very respectful too. But when you as famous as him, it's very hard to meet a girlfriend. But no, he had a regular woman right up to the end of his life, and various girlfriends who have interestingly written books and spoke to the media. But the media say we know about this, but we don't want to write about it because it doesn't go with the narrative. That was the thing. The other thing too, that documentary last year is full of rubbish. I know those guys. Absolutely, yeah. One of them has already lost their case too. What they did mention in that documentary is that they're both suing the Jackson estate for hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, that's the narrative of the story. Surely, I think had the public watched that and that came up on the screen, that Wade and James are suing the Michael Jackson estate for hundreds of millions of dollars, they would flick the channel, you know. So we went on and we did something on Ask the Truth and combated that. But no, it's just coming. Those two guys both gave evidence in this trial in 2005 because they are star witnesses and said they did, you know, he did nothing to them. He was into women. But in America, if you get past 7 years, if you lie on oath, then they can't come back after you. So they waited to 2012. And we got to talk about the other allegation too, Geordie Chandler, which is very famous, 1993. Michael Jackson pay off Geordie Chandler. He was in the middle of a world tour called Dangerous. He had no choice because his insurance company made him. His insurance company paid him, and that's all out there, paperwork documented and so on. Michael wanted to fight it to go to court, but big money in the tours back then. You know, 80,000 people in a stadium times 8 per country around the world. They wanted to get him back out on tour. So they put him in the corner. Just get this behind us. What's 20 million to you? And his insurance company paid it off. He had no choice. It wasn't his decision. He wanted to fight it.
Wow. There you go. So this documentary then, you think it's lies?
I know it's lies. I know it is. And why hasn't it been played since, Rob? Where is it? And the 4-hour version, I think it's cut down to like, it's like a fraction of that now. Listen, these guys, one of the guys said he was abused by Michael in Neverland at the train station in early 90s. Well, the train station wasn't built until the late 90s. He would have been in his adulthood by then. Well, all we had to do is go back to the architect and get the planning and the builders, and you can see where it's stamped. He would have been in an adult life by then. So he can't be abused in the train station that wasn't built. It was absolutely impossible. It was sad with Michael, Rob, because I kind of had the bad 10 years in some ways. There were some good times too, but being the biggest star in the world, you were the biggest target. And he was so nice, so nice. And at the same time, business-wise, very, very clever, but a little bit too trusting because he was always treating people to treat them in every way. He would always remind us when we're in public. When we're in public, we refer to him as Mr. Jackson, be very respectful, treat your fans. He said, remember, those fans put me where I am. They made me who I am. treat them with respect. Even if they get overexcited, please, look after them. And sometimes they would chuck themselves under his car and to try and get to meet him because he would pay for their hospital bills and so on. And at times he would visit them. So he treated everyone with respect. He would call, if he met you, he'd call you sir and stuff. And I'd never seen anything quite like it, So he didn't assume he was this megastar. He just, to him, he doesn't know any different. He never knew any different. And for me, it was just, had I been a success without him in my life? I don't know. I think I would have been successful to a degree, but he taught me how to franchise. When I said I've got 5 martial arts schools and I can't do anything else, he's like, sure you can. You could do franchising. And I said, okay, it's never been done in the martial arts before. He said, yeah, that's exactly why you got to do it. And he taught me how to do it. He introduced me to a franchise lawyer, and he kept me accountable. Wow. Yeah.
And now you've got 1,000 and how many?
Got 1,080 in the martial arts, and we've got several hundred in Pilates.
Now, if you enjoyed this, we have the full unedited deep dive interview with Matt, all about Michael Jackson, the full story. So if you want to watch that, the link is below. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel.